This locomotive traveled 6,237 miles, crossed the Atlantic Ocean to land in my hands so we can make this video. When it showed up, it was kind of a pile. Follow me, I'll show you what we did to make this locomotive run and look as good as it does. Hello! Welcome back to Classic Model Trains. I'm Ron. Celebrating Labor Day weekend 2022. Hope you guys had a good one. It was hot. Hot as a bugger up here. 103, 104. Hottest summer on record, I believe. I do believe. Found this Tyco Canadiana. Took me a while to figure out how to say that. Stu up there in Chatham, Ontario, helped me out with the pronunciation of it. I was visiting with him during production of the video, so you'll notice during the video I'll say it wrong most of the time, but thanks to Tyco made a lot of Canadian locomotives. We never seen them around down here in America, but they're out there. I did a little digging on the interweb. These are the ones that I found. General Motors Electromotive Division F7s is being represented by a black and red Canadian National, a black, blue, and yellow Canadian National via a red CP rail, a maroon and gray Canadian Pacific, and then this one here that I found, super rare clear demonstrator or a dealer only. This one here belongs to Rob down at RP Model Railroads. Under the Alco Century 430 line, they have the red and white Canadiana, which is a fantasy scheme, never ever existed. The black and red, maybe orange, Canadian National, and a red CP rail. Coming up in the General Motors Electromotive Division GP20s, all I found was this black and orange Canadian National. From the Baldwin Locomotive Works, this BF-16, also known as a shark nose, in the red and white Canadiana fantasy scheme. The GM 40-ton industrial switcher, shown here in a yellow CP rail. We even had a couple steamers out there. The maroon, silver, and black 080 consolidation with tender drive. And they also got this maroon and black 462 Pacific. I gotta tell you, this C430 here, it's got some great colors. Great looking locomotive, nice line. Kind of like somebody else that I know that came from Canada. Yeah. Now, this one came from Armenia. I found it on an eBay auction. Clearing Armenia? Where's Armenia? That's over there. It's 10,038 meters for those of you that don't live in America. For us Americans, 6,237 miles away. Only took it about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks tops. Hell, I've had mail that's taken longer than that to come up from Nebraska. Now when I see this one on eBay, I got really excited because you don't see them very often, but for some reason they sell, well, some of them sell really high. Take a look at this Via F7. This is the sold for price on eBay. $113.61. What the? Plus, take a look at this Sharknose Canadiana. $147.50. Goodness. Somebody must have really wanted these locos, or they're kind of rare. So that's why I snagged this one up. Let's get started on the revival. I'm eyeballing this eBay Canadian 430, and this thing is across the pond, and it's almost, this auction's got like 5 minutes left on it, but it might as well be in Siberia. It's $5, $30 international shipping. Do I buy it? If I do, make a great video. It's kind of hammered, the chassis is hammered, but the body, the shell is what I want. I think I'm gonna take the plunge, because it'll make a great story. It really will. $5 for this, well, rare for United States, C430. The Canadiana Alco Century 430 just showed up. Came from Armenia. I wonder if it was managed to get packed and delivered without any damage. That'll be interesting. I can't even get stuff to come from Colorado without any damage. Bubble wrap's not taped on it. That's a giant bonus. That doesn't have the right hand railings on it. That's got, that's got Alco 630 hand railings on it. And it's got Alco 630 trucks in it. That's all right though, because I got the shell and I've got a 430 just running around that's like triplicate of something, so I'm going to swap it over. So I managed to have a couple of Rock Island units that I somehow just got extra of. So my first duplicates of things. This one's got good hand railings around the back. This one's got hand railings on the front, power trucks. So we're going to take this 630 stuff off of this one, get these trucks out of there, put this stuff in, and I'm going to have myself a nice, I suppose I'm saying this wrong too, Canadian, and then, damn it. Well, I guess the first thing we'll do is we'll take these donor railings off. Guess these trucks are just as good to take as anybody else's. And I'm going to borrow the set of front hand railings off of this one. Looks like I don't have the complete front set. Now, getting this abomination stripped out. Look at this, they got the damn wires are going clear up to the front. Well, somebody's got a big enough wire in there to choke a horse. Okay, it's got the wrong rear truck, is what it is. Could have just left that in there. Somebody's really done some really poor soldering on this thing. Horribly, horribly poor. Look at that fine work right there. Yeah, that's why we got to learn how to solder. Parts, more parts. Well, let's go wash this body up. See if we can make her shine just a little bit more. Look at that. Somebody got so much grease in there, it's sprayed all over. Oh. Well, you can see on these set of trucks that both the pickups are on one side. So obviously somebody took it apart and they didn't know how to put it back together again. You know, that happens. We've all done it at some point in our life. We got to take this apart anyway so we can get the wheels out, because it's like super easier to clean them when the wheels are out. So then I can just flip them around like this and I bolt this back together after I clean these wheels, and this problem is solved. A lot more shinier now. I just take this little bright boy and this little piece of bright boy and give him a rub like this. Shines them up real nice. That's the best thing I've found so far. Let's get into this front truck here, the Tyco Tower of Power. Pop these 3 screws out here, and of course the bottom of the truck will come right off. We can get in here. We're going to clean up these wheels. This one here is just an idler, and you got all the gears over on this side. We're missing a pinion. Ain't that a bugger? Here we get down this low and we see we're missing the pinion gear right there. Unbelievable. Just what do you gotta do? Bet you that auction told me that thing works just fine. Take these idler gears out here, and I can see a tremendous amount of fuzz right under here. That's why you don't operate these on carpeting. But, you know, as kids, that's what we did. Yep. I'm going to get in here with a little wire brush, and I'm going to give this kind of a scrub in some. Got one of these. Maybe I'll take my Q-tip. Yeah, I think I'll get my Q-tip and mineral spirits. Clean up all this extra grease and stuff like that. We can apply a little voltage to the motor and see if it even spins before we go any farther. Let's find out together at the same time if she's a runner or not. Will it run? Will it squeal? What's it gonna do? Oh, it's a runner and a squealer. Guess we'll just open it up just real quick and take a look at that commutator and the brushes. See if maybe we might need to clean it up some. Get these out, see if I can promptly drop them on the floor. Yeah, little brushes right there. And of course we can take this out because we have no gear on the backside. So we'll clean all this up, start the reassembly. Mineral spirits, clean out anything that can be in here. Clean this little feller off. It's only a little 3-pole, God. That's probably why these don't make good pullers. This thing does a lot better on commutators than it does on wheel sets. Oh, sure. Let's put a little oil down in here. I'm going to attempt to put the spring in and put the brush sit on top of them. Maybe. Once we're situated like that, then get your armature, put it in, compress the springs. That's about the best way I've found to do it so far. Put this in from this way, put our screws in, and we'll test drive her out. Not the prettiest sounding thing I've ever heard. Give these gear areas here a good cleaning with the mineral spirits. Oh, there's some more fuzz down in there. Got another half a cat. Oh, sure. Yeah, you just don't want to run them on the carpet. These areas right here conduct electricity, fellers. So you want to make sure that your axle bosses are clean also. That's how the juice gets through that brass wheel up into that power torque. What the f is that? What the hell's this one? You good Well, fellers, when I said, what the hell is that, just a little bit ago, that was one of the brushes. And then I found the other one just laying right here. Apparently the first time I put it together, they fell out. And the motor was actually running from just the brush springs rubbing against the commutator. And that's why it sounded so funny. So now it doesn't sound quite as funny, which makes sense because it's got brushes in there instead of springs now. Oh, the joys. The joys of learning. Well, I got this side, it's all cleaned up now. We're gonna go around this shaft right here, and in this little divot hole. We're gonna go around this shaft right over here, and some down in that divot hole. How much does it take? Not that much. How much should I put in? Take whatever you're using, put half in. Don't need a lot. This guy here, we'll put some in there too. We'll get to the face of these gears here in just a bit. I guess I'm going to borrow this little gear right here off of the original motor. Now when you put it in, you don't want to push it down so tight. This gear holds on the bull gear, this idler gear here. You don't want to put it in so tight that it's rubbing really hard on the face, but it's got to be in enough. Hold on to this backside over here with your finger if you can while you're pushing down on that, and that's going to give us some of this action. Let's take some more of this fancy grease right here. Let's give these gears a little taste on the outside. And then when you run it through, and then they get lubricated, and then it doesn't make as much noise. Now, I got to clean up these wheels here and make them just as shiny as they can be. Shiny. Make sure you clean these axles. Juice flows through there. Now, on this front truck, this powered truck, if you forget which way to put the gears in, remember all the gears, they all go to one side. That's why you know, oh now, well this must be backwards. Sure it is, yeah, this goes like this. There, that looks better. I'm gonna rip those wires off yet. A little oil over here for these axles. And we'll put this cover back on. Now horn hooks, you know, they're all right. They get the job done. This one's broken off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna update it. I'm gonna use some 143 whisker couplers. These are the short center sets, and some Talgo truck adapters. These little beauties come out looking like that. I'll lift this pin up underneath here. I'm gonna pull this coupler out without breaking it because I need it for other stuff. Without breaking it, oh yay, we did it. We're gonna take this, we're gonna put it in. We're gonna push that little knob down, the little bar in the center there. And it gets our coupler in there. Then we're gonna take a Talgo truck adapter. We are going to come in from the top at a 90-degree angle. We're gonna jiggle everything till I get the hole in that coupler centered on this right here. If I can get my fingers out of the way to show y'all what's going on. What is happening over here? You can feel all this kind of line up when you get close. So once you push it in there, you can see that the coupler's quite a bit tighter now. Pushed in, flush with the top of the coupler, rotate it 90, clicks in there, locks in, and there's no slack. So I'll do the same to the front, put it on the track, run it around a little bit. Is it just me, Or does this picture seem weird? It's pretty obvious that the traction tires are not really doing their thing, because it can hardly get out of its own way. Here's the construction on this end taking place. Changes is a coming, but I think I'm going to swap out those traction tires because they're just no good. They are just no good. Pop these 3 screws out again. Get this axle out. There's traction tires here. Oh, sure. Yep. I bought some of these off of eBay. And of course, they're nothing special. They're just a simple O-ring. These aren't even really the completely right ones, because if you wanted them to be really right, they would be flat on this edge right here, like these. And I think they'd be a little thicker too. Centered up there. That is new traction tires slipped in. So now our wheels are clean, traction tires are on, armature and brushes are cleaned. We've got caddies installed with the Talgo 212 adapters. Seems like it's time to put it back in the locomotive. The shell's all dry from giving it a washing. Did it come out real clean? I think I figured this out. Canada, nah. Cadana, nah. Can't, damn it. This windshield that was in here, it was really dirty. I gotta say, I never paid that much attention to even notice that they've got windshields in them. It's like, do they all have them in them? The side of the tracks I grew up on, they didn't give us windshields in our model locomotives. This little tit right here is where this light is supposed to go. And of course it always breaks off. That's a guarantee. So what are we gonna do to put it in there? Dab a hot glue maybe? I think that would work. Warm up the gun. Take a little hot glue, put it on top of that stud. You gotta hurry up and get this thing in there before it cools off. Pop our front truck in, get our rear truck put in. Tab there, tab, tab. And we'll get our weight put back in. Plastic snap locks, only the best. Now all that's left is to put the correct railings on. Oh yeah, those are gonna fit a lot better. Yeah. I'm sorry guys, I couldn't keep filming that. I think I was gonna run out of memory on my camera. I see why Tyco quit sending these things with the railings on them. It took me like half an hour or more of farting around getting those dang little things on. They're time consuming, I'll tell you that. But now that the locomotive is done, let's take a nice look at it. Throw it up on the turntable. I haven't pulled that out in a while. Yep, turned into a pretty good little runner right there. Well, you know, a nice runner as far as Tyco is, which is, you know, okay. I think this one is going to look equally as good on the layout as it will laying on my shelf. Got a real nice slow crawl to it. Yep, that's one good run into the loco right there. Thanks for checking out my video. We are going to go celebrate what's left of the weekend. I think tonight I'm going to make a Kraft macaroni and cheese, and I'm going to use 2 packets of the cheese sauce inside there because it makes it twice as cheesy to celebrate Labor Day. Work for the man, 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. He'll give you a day. That's awfully nice of him. One of the benefits of Labor Day marks the end of summer. That means fall's coming up. That means time to get back to the model railroad. Wintertime's going to be here. We're going to be into it deep. So this is actually the beginning of the season of model railroading. It's not the end of the summer. It's the beginning of model railroading season. Yeah. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.